Well, good morning, everyone. It's Thanksgiving week. I'm off work this week. Yes, hallelujah. And I just wanted to bring you along today and let you know what I'm doing for Thanksgiving. Actually, right now, I'm going to make myself a cup of green mint tea because it is a little bit early. So, I don't know, maybe around 7 a.m. Kids are still asleep. Camera guy's off to work. So you guys know what I'm going to do. I got a couple hours, going to head out to the garden. But first, got to get this tea going in the microwave. And to let you guys know, I am getting ready for Thanksgiving this week. Now, we're not having Thanksgiving dinner at our house. Kind of how it works in our family is we do things with the extended family every other year. And on the off years, people go do things with their in-laws. Now, since my family doesn't live here in Southern California, we like to do something with some really good friends of ours that live about an hour away on the off years. So that's what we're doing this year. We're going to our friend's house, which means I only have to bring side dishes. So I'm really happy about that. And just to tell you what I'm going to be making today, actually, I'm going to be making some pumpkin cinnamon rolls. Definitely not the healthiest thing in the world, but boy, are they delicious. I make pumpkin cinnamon rolls at Thanksgiving time, and on Christmas I make regular cinnamon rolls. It's kind of my tradition. Christmas time I make tons of them and wrap them up real nice and give them to the neighbors and friends and take them into work and things like that. But for Thanksgiving, it's not such a big production. I just kind of make them for our family, and maybe I give them to a couple of friends. But really, I just started doing that last year, so this is the second year, which to me makes it a tradition. And I probably won't be filming the whole recipe today, but just kind of showing you little bits and pieces of what I do. But if you are interested in the recipe, it comes from pioneerwoman.com. Again, not the healthiest thing in the world, but they are good. And I'm also going to be making kind of a cheesy potato casserole. Again, not the healthiest thing, but you know what? It's Thanksgiving time, guys. I eat healthy most of the time. And like I've said before, Thanksgiving Day, kind of all bets are off. So cheesy potato casserole. And what else am I bringing? Oh, I'm bringing, and this is very healthy, a kale salad. One of my extremely favorite salad recipes at this point in time. And maybe I will do that recipe video over on the garden channel. But for now, I've got to get the pumpkin puree out of the freezer, because you guys probably saw my pumpkin puree recipe video a couple weeks ago after Halloween. My freezer is chock full of pumpkin puree. So, oh, there's my tea. Let me grab that out. And I'm going to head out to the freezer, which in California, I don't know how it is where you guys are. California, my extra freezer is in my garage. I know a lot of you guys probably have basements. We don't have those here in California because we have earthquakes. And if you have ever lived through an earthquake, which I actually haven't, you know that you do not want to be in a basement during an earthquake. That's why we don't have them here. So I need a spoon here. Stir up my tea. This stuff is really good, by the way. If you guys have Trader Joe's near you, I absolutely could not live without Trader Joe's. Candy cane green mint tea. This stuff is amazing. I love green tea anyway, but when you add that candy cane mint in there, wow, fantastic. Whew, that's hot. Okay guys, so I'm just starting to put together my cinnamon roll dough. Now one reason I love this dough is because I make it all in this pot here. I heat up some oil, some milk, some sugar, just until it boils, just before it boils. You don't want to let it boil, but it's super easy. It all rises here in this pot. Oops, I'm almost out of sugar here. It all rises here in this pot, and it's pretty much a one-pot recipe besides rolling it out and doing all that fun stuff. But I'm just going to let this boil up here, or not quite boil up, let it cool off, add some yeast to it, let the dough get nice and bubbly, and I'll bring you guys along on the process so you can see how these rolls look in the very end. Okay, so it's pretty simple. Check it out, pioneerwoman.com. I'm going to get this boiling and come back and show you what it looks like when the dough is nice and bubbly, because I love how that looks. And I got my pumpkin puree thawing out here in the microwave. Okay guys, so I let my milk, my sugar, and my oil come to just about a boil, and I let it cool off. Now I'm going to put some yeast in, and this is the part I love because the yeast just makes this nice and happy and bubbly. So I'm going to put the yeast in, and I'm going to let this sit for about 5 minutes till it gets nice and happy and bubbly. And we're going to add in the pumpkin puree. Oh, this is going to be great. I remember this from last year, and wow, with my own pumpkin from my own garden, I'm really excited. Okay, so my yeast mixture is looking pretty bubbly, so I'm going to go ahead and add in my pumpkin puree. And you know what? This is kind of cold, so I'm hoping it doesn't chill the yeast out too much, but we'll see what happens here, because I did have this in the freezer. I'm just going to stir it up. It has a couple little chunks in it. So look at that, guys. Look at the color of that pumpkin puree. Isn't that beautiful? So I'm going to go ahead and add that in here. Here we go. Stir it in. Combine it. And to this, I'm going to add my flour. And I also have some pumpkin pie spice in here to add that nice, what do you call it, Thanksgiving type flavor, I guess you could say, or fall type flavor. Now there are a couple little chunks of puree in here, so I'm going to get my whisk in here. I'm going to whisk those up because I do not want those in my pumpkin cinnamon rolls. And like I said, one reason I love this recipe is because it's pretty much a one-pot deal. I don't have to knead anything. I warm everything up. I let it rise in this pot. And I like this pot too. It's red. So I'm going to go ahead and add this. And then this is actually going to sit for about an hour. And once it sits for about an hour, it's going to be about half, or not about half, it's going to be about double the size as it is right now. And I'll get a little close-up shot here. Okay, sorry about that. Someone came to the door. So anyway, you just incorporate the flour in. And you can see little bits of pumpkin in here, which is going to be really great in the cinnamon rolls. So let me just grab the camera here and show you what it looks like up close here. You can see a shot of that stuff here. There we go. That's a little bit better. So in about an hour, whoops, in about an hour, I'm going to come back, and hopefully, if all goes well, this is going to be about doubled in size. And we'll be well on our way to making some delicious pumpkin cinnamon rolls. And by the way, I'm also going to make here pumpkin pancakes because my son and his cousin are over. Got the neighbor coming over. You can see it's going to be a little bit busy of a day around here. I mean, this is just a pre-made mix that, well, actually a mix that I make up. I'm going to add some pumpkin to it to make them pumpkin pancakes. And they're going to love it. I'm also going to try and eat this whole entire bowl of oranges today. Well, tangerines actually. A friend of mine picked these off her tree, was kind and generous enough to give me some. And I've kind of had some allergies lately, and it's been so windy here. I feel a little something coming on, which I totally do not want to get sick before Thanksgiving. So I'm going to try and eat this whole bowl of oranges today, get some vitamin C. Might even juice some or other actual oranges that I have so that I do not get sick. Okay, I don't want to take any medicine or anything, but hey, nature's best medicine is right here. Okay, so we'll come back a little bit, show you how this yummy dough is looking. Look at these pumpkin pancakes, guys. I know 3 boys who are gonna love these. Well, I'm continuing my Thanksgiving Day preparations. My dough is rising over here, and I'm making some cream of chicken, a condensed cream of chicken soup for my cheesy potato casserole I was telling you about earlier. Now, making your own condensed cream soups is so easy. And I actually looked at the grocery store yesterday because I thought, you know what, I'm just going to cut some corners. I'm going to buy myself a couple cans of cream of chicken soup. And honestly, guys, I could not bring myself to do it because, believe it or not, it was $1.79 a can. Now, of course, they were out of the stuff that was on sale, the 79 cents a can. They were all out. The Healthy Request Campbell's cream of chicken soup was $1.79. I could not bring myself, needed 2 cans, could not bring myself to spend $3 for 2 cans of cream of chicken soup when I can make it at home. It's a whole lot healthier, helps make a dish that's maybe not so healthy a little bit less of a guilty pleasure. But anyway, let me tell you how you make it. It's so simple. And in fact, I have a recipe on my Pinterest page. If you guys haven't visited my Pinterest page, I don't talk about it a whole lot, but I do have a Pinterest page with tons of different boards where I put all my favorite recipes. And this one, as well as my pumpkin cinnamon roll recipe, or not mine, but the one that I use, is going to be there under fall recipes. So let me tell you how to make this stuff. You take some cream, or not cream. Good thing it's the vlog, okay? It's just free form here. Take some chicken stock. Now this is my homemade chicken stock. And check the garden channel for the video on that. But you take some chicken stock. I think I've got 1.5 cups here. And you take some milk. And here I've got about 1/2 cup of milk. Okay. You let that boil. All right, I'm going to add some spices here. And again, you can check the recipe on my Pinterest page for the exact measurements. But I've got some garlic, onion powder, salt and pepper. What else is in here? Some parsley. You guys can see that. And I think that's it. Anyway, you pour that in here too. Oh, dash of paprika. Okay. So pour that in here too. Get that nice and stirred up. I'm just going to let it boil for about 3 minutes, and then I'll tell you what I'm going to do next. Okay, so my chicken stock milk spice combination has been boiling, excuse me, has been boiling for about 3 minutes. Got a whiff of that stuff. And what I'm going to do now is add in this jar, I've mixed up some milk and some flour. So about 1 cup of milk, 3/4 cup of flour. And this will thicken the cream of chicken soup. So I'm just going to pour that in. And then whisk this for a couple of minutes or so till it thickens up real nice. And then it's going to be done. So simple. I don't even know why I considered buying a can of cream of chicken soup. And the great thing about this is you can add like mushrooms if you want cream of mushroom soup. You can add celery or like celery seed for cream of celery soup. So simple, so easy. It's going to add a lot of flavor to my cheesy potato casserole. And by the way, guys, I gotta show you real quick this recipe. Okay, you can tell this has been around for quite a while. This is my cheesy potato casserole recipe. Look at this. I think this has been written on this little piece of paper for, I'd say, a good 20 years. I can't believe I still have it. In fact, I need to take a picture of it. Whoops, I gotta stir this. I need to take a picture of it to preserve it. One reason I like to make this recipe is because it is an old family recipe. I mean, there's nothing rocket science about it. You can probably find this recipe around anywhere. But even though it's not the healthiest thing in the world, we made this all the time growing up for holidays. So it's really hard for me to have a Thanksgiving without it. And I'll show you, hopefully I'll be able to show you when I make it, but it's just a pretty basic recipe with like frozen hash browns, this cream of chicken soup, sour cream, cheese, butter. You know, it's just one of those kind of recipes, down home American style. But it always makes me think of home. So here we are, my cheesy potato recipe. And let me show you this stuff real quick here before I've got to turn the oven off, or the stove off. Okay, it's just bubbling away. It's thickened up super quickly. And literally, guys, this took me about 5 minutes to put together. Literally 5 minutes, okay? So you too can make your own cream of whatever soup at home in about 5 minutes. Okay guys, well, I'm making good progress on these oranges or tangerines. I love these, they're so easy to peel. I think this is like my 4th one. And you know what, I'm feeling better already. Okay, you know that just a little tickle you get in your throat? These are so good. I'm gonna have to ask my friend if she has any more on her tree, because I think they picked them all, or maybe she just has some more sitting in her kitchen. It's good. Okay, anyway, my dough has been sitting here for about an hour. Wow. It's like doubled in size, just like it's supposed to do. Thank goodness. Let me show you how this looks here. Okay, I know I don't do the lighting as good as camera guy does, but that is some good looking dough there. Okay, so let me tell you what we're gonna do next. Okay, to this, what I do is I'm actually gonna just add some more flour. And in this little bowl here, I have some baking soda, baking powder, and salt. All I do is stir this in. And then I'm gonna put this in the refrigerator just for a little bit so it's not quite so sticky. because the next step is to roll this out and to make our cinnamon rolls, and that is the best part. Okay, so this is looking really, really good here, guys. I cannot wait to make these. I'm actually going to make a pan today and bake them up, give some to one of my neighbors whose son is over here today hanging out, and I'm going to give some to Camera Guy to take into work tomorrow because he has some friends at work who absolutely love my cinnamon rolls. So I thought I would send some in with him tomorrow. Then I'm going to make a big pan for us to have for breakfast on Thursday. Okay, but I won't bake those up until Thursday morning. But the great thing about this dough is you can make it up ahead of time. You can even make up your cinnamon rolls ahead of time. You can bake them right away if you want, or you can freeze the dough. All made up into cinnamon rolls. So it's wonderful. You can even do this now for Christmas if you want to. I probably won't be quite that organized, but I'm lucky to get this made today. So anyway, popping this in the refrigerator. Okay, well basically guys, I have let my dough sit in the refrigerator for, I don't know, maybe a half an hour to an hour, just while I did some other stuff around the kitchen. And I'm in the process here of rolling it out and making the cinnamon rolls. Now this is definitely the best part of the whole process. Well, the best part of the whole process is eating them. But all I'm going to do here, I roll it into a rectangle, and the dough's really easy to work with once it's been in the refrigerator. And I'm really excited because actually I haven't been able to roll it out right on the countertop before because we had those tile countertops. You guys probably remember that from before we put the granite countertops in. Now that I have the granite, it's nice and smooth, and I can roll this out right on the countertop, which is going to make it a whole lot easier, because before I had to use my really large wooden cutting board, and I had to do it in several different batches, and it just took a lot of time. And this way I just spread the flour out on the countertop. Let's hope it doesn't stick. Roll these out into a huge rectangle, and let me get this rolled out, and then I'm going to show you what we're going to put on this stuff. Oh boy, is it ever good. Now, I did warn you guys, this is not the low-fat version of cinnamon rolls, didn't I? Okay, so I've got my dough rolled out, and what I'm doing now is I'm just sprinkling a mixture of white sugar, brown sugar, and pumpkin pie spice over the top. Oh, first I spread some melted butter over the top of the dough with my hands, clean hands of course. So now I'm sprinkling this mixture over the top, and you just want this stuff oozing out as you roll this dough up, okay? This is fantastic. I actually had a little bit of that mixture left over, so I'll use it for my next batch of whatever. I gotta show this to you guys before I roll it up, guys. Let's get a close-up here. Look at this batch of fabulousness. Now, let's roll. I'm going to roll these up, put them in the pan, and you're going to see what they look like. Okay guys, well I've got my cinnamon roll log here, and it just worked out fabulously on my countertop. It did stick a little bit, but you know what? I'll just add a little more flour next time. Now I'm going to cut these up and put them in the pans that I prepared. I drizzled some melted butter in the pans, and what I'm going to do this year, I actually read about this on the internet somewhere, is cut it with dental floss. Now typically I cut it with a serrated knife, but I'm just going to try this and see if it works. I'm going to start from the middle, and I think actually, I don't know if I'm even doing this right, but I think you're actually supposed to have the dental floss underneath. So we'll try it underneath on the next one. I think you're supposed to have it underneath, and then let me see how this is going to work here. Probably should have read up on it a little bit more, but underneath, and then it's not really working too well for me here. Then I think you're supposed to kind of crisscross it and pull it tight. Well, actually that worked pretty well. Okay, so here I have my cinnamon roll chunk. No, this one, well, the first one's always an experiment. Okay, not too bad. All right, I got my cinnamon roll chunk. I am going to go ahead and get these in a pan, and what you do guys is you let them sit in the pan for about 20 more minutes. Cover them up just to rise a little bit more, and I pop them in the oven for about another 20 minutes, at about 375. But you know what? You got to make sure you check the recipe out on my Pinterest page. It's on my, again, it's on my fall recipes board. pioneerwoman.com pumpkin cinnamon rolls. And you know what? I think I'm going to forget the dental floss and just get my good old serrated knife, okay? So I can practice a little bit more. And, not in the dishwasher. Anyway, I'll get these cinnamon rolls in the pans, pop them in the oven, and when they come out, wait till you see the deliciousness. Okay guys, well, I'm about ready to pull out the first pan of cinnamon rolls. Oh my gosh, these look amazing. Whew, let me just check. Yep, they look like they're done. You know what? I think I'm actually going to throw them in for about another minute. They're still like a little bit doughy. Throw them in for another minute, then I'm going to pull them out and frost them with a really, really yummy cream cheese frosting. Okay, these are definitely done. Look at these guys. Don't those look great? Now, what I like to do for my pumpkin cinnamon rolls is just make up like a cream cheese. It's a frosting, but I make it kind of thin, so it's actually like a glaze. And the secret is to frost them or drizzle the glaze over it the minute they come out of the oven, because then they sink down into all the yummy nooks and crannies. These are so good, and unfortunately I can't eat a roll out of this batch because I'm going to be giving them to my neighbor, and boy, it really wouldn't be too nice if I had a cinnamon roll missing out of the pan I gave her. But I do have some to put in a minute here that I'm going to take a bite out of. But, oh, these look good. I can't wait to get these frosted so I can show you guys how good these look. A little bit more glaze on top, and it just sinks down in there when you put the glaze on when it's warm like this. It's just ooey, gooey, full of deliciousness. And this glaze I actually added, the recipe doesn't call for it, but I added a little bit of pumpkin pie spice to the glaze to add even more flavor. So let me bring you in close and show you what these rolls look like. Okay guys, here you go. My pumpkin cinnamon rolls. Ooey, gooey, nothing but deliciousness there, guys. Okay, well, I think that's about all the Thanksgiving preparations I have for today. Unless I think of something else to do, I'm going to sign off here. Hope you guys enjoyed this vlog. Probably a little bit lengthy, but maybe it gave you some ideas on how to prepare some yummy stuff for Thanksgiving. Hope you guys have a great Thanksgiving. We'll see you later.